Khamzat Chimaev is one of the world's biggest superstars in mixed martial arts right now, with many believing he will become a two-division world champion. With all of his recent success, we thought that now would be the perfect time to tell you about him. This is the story of Khamzat Chimaev. His fight style is very wrestling dominant due to his foundations being built upon freestyle wrestling. Chimaev often utilizes his freestyle wrestling in his fights to get his opponents to the ground. Once he is on top control, he employs different techniques to gain control over his opponents and land heavy ground and pound or seek submissions, while forcing his weight towards them. He has a record of 24 wins and 0 losses in freestyle wrestling, with his most recent win being against a fellow UFC fighter called Jack Hermanson. He then transitioned into MMA in 2017, where he began his journey at a Fight Club Rush event. On his amateur debut, he won by submission in the second round. After this spectacular win, Khamzat continued to have 2 more amateur fights, of which he won both. Then in 2018 he turned professional, fighting a total of 6 professional fights before getting signed by the UFC. Khamzat was still not on a lot of people's radar. He won all 6 fights by either knockout or submission, and when he signed for the UFC in 2020 he was seen as the biggest prospect in the UFC at this time. His first fight in the UFC was in 2020 against John Phillips, who he beat by submission in the second round. Winning performance of the night for that event, Khamzat was starting to get some recognition. He then had another fight only 10 days after this at the next UFC event against Rhys McKee. He broke the record for the quickest turnaround between UFC wins in the modern era, with it only being 10 days. Khamzat also won this fight by knockout in the first round and again winning performance of the night bonus. Before 2020 ended, he had one more fight against Gerald Meerschaert, which he again won by knockout in the first round and again winning performance of the night. However, Khamzat had a 13-month break from the octagon after this due to a long battle with COVID, to which many people thought would retire him from fighting, as it had a big effect on him, causing him to withdraw from scheduled bouts due to his long battle with COVID. However, in September 2021 he fought again against Li Jingliang, which he won by submission in the first round. Khamzat made a big statement this fight by ragdolling his opponent and picking them up and carrying them over to Dana White, and yet again winning performance of the night. People were convinced after this fight that he was the next big superstar of MMA, but many people wanted to see him get properly tested against one of the highest skilled fighters in the division. So in 2022 at UFC 273 he was set to face Gilbert Burns, who would be his biggest test yet due to Gilbert's elite-level ground game, which many people are scared of. After a 3-round war, Khamzat won by unanimous decision. However, it wasn't easy, as there were moments where his weaknesses were exploited and he looked on the back foot. But he still won and proved he belonged the top of the division. After this, his next fight was hard to decide upon, with the top contenders in the division already fighting and a title fight already scheduled. There was no standout fight to make. But instead of waiting for the title, he decided to fight again against one of the veterans of the division, Nate Diaz, who was a massive underdog. But due to Khamzat missing weight, they changed his opponent to Kevin Holland. Yet again Khamzat made easy work for his opponent and won via submission in the first round. However, Khamzat's road to the championship belt has been prolonged even further after Leon Edwards beat Kamaru Usman, which has led to an immediate rematch. So the fight to make is Khamzat versus Colby Covington, which he has teased slightly on his Instagram by posting this photo. So what do you think of Khamzat Chimaev? Is he soon to be the champion of the welterweight division, or will his hype train be derailed by Colby? Let us know down below in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next time, fellow fight fans.